crisp white borders? Or does it look more like a crime scene? If your paint keeps sneaking under the masking tape, I have a way to fix that. Let's go.
All right, let's fix this. First, I'm grabbing brand new tape. The old one will have lost its stickiness by now, and I also don't want to risk any other dirt or what have you to go on my canvas. Place the edge right along the area where the paint bled through. This will give you a crisp barrier while you fix it, and for this, I prefer an angled or flat brush. The sharp edge makes it so much easier to get a clean, straight line compared to a filbert or round brush, which can be a bit trickier to control for precise edges. I've already squeezed out some titanium white, as this is what we'll use to cover up the mistake. And you simply apply it all over the white border, not just the area that bled through. The canvas has a slightly different tone of white, so you want to cover the whole border here. Troubleshooting this particular mistake is really just a matter of patience and repetition. A lot of blue bled through here because honestly, I made a mess right at the start of this painting when I put the first wash on. If you haven't seen that oopsie video where I fixed that mistake, go check it out, links in the description. Now, because of how much blue seeped through, this is going to take a few coats to fully cover. So I decided to work on the bottom border as the top one is drying. So tip here, if you haven't figured it out, let each layer dry in between, or at least wait until the paint gets tacky. To speed this part up, you can use a hairdryer if you have one handy, which I don't, as I'm really wanting to fix this quickly and I just didn't want to get up to get to the bathroom to hunt down the dryer. Sure, call me lazy, or, just in the zone. The reason for letting it dry is that if you go in too soon, you'll just end up moving the paint around instead of actually covering the mistake. Painting isn't just about adding fun details and colors, it's also about troubleshooting. And yeah, it's frustrating, but it comes with the territory. Not everything goes smoothly all the time. But hey, aren't you glad I'm showing you my struggles so you don't feel alone in this? Even artists way beyond me make mistakes, so let's just be real about it, shall we? Now, fixing the mistake is one thing, but let's talk about how to prevent this from happening in the first place. Because honestly, I'd rather not have to fix it at all. I was so bummed when I peeled off the tape because, let's be honest, that's just one of the most satisfying parts of a painting. Well, at least for me it is. So when I peeled it away and was greeted with the blue mess, my heart sank a little and my enthusiasm for finishing the painting just took a back seat. Now I have to go back in and fix it, which I decided to do immediately because I just didn't want it sitting on my easel messed up. This painting was done, and it better resembled that. So here are some tips to help prevent this from happening. First, consider using better quality masking tape. Not all tapes are created equal. Some just don't stick well enough, especially on textured surfaces. Look for artist tape or painter's tape that's designed to seal edges more tightly. I might need to step away from dollar store masking tape. Note to self. Second, be mindful of how much water you're using, especially in those first layers. If your paint is too watery, it can seep right under the tape, no matter how well you pressed it down. So try using slightly thicker paint if you can. Another thing that might help, especially if you're working on a canvas that isn't primed, therefore giving you a rougher texture, is applying a layer of gesso, or better yet, 2 or 3 layers before you even start painting. You apply this to the whole canvas without any tape stuck to it. What gesso does is smooth out the texture and fills in those tiny little gaps, making it harder for paint to creep under that tape. And finally, make sure your surface is completely dry before applying the tape. If there's any moisture underneath, the tape won't stick properly, and that's just asking for paint to go and hide under there. I hope these tips help you in your painting journey and adventures, but even if you make mistakes and have mishaps like this, know that you can fix them. It's not all ruined and lost. Let me know in the comments if you have any more tips that I may not have mentioned, and don't forget to check out my website. As always, stay happy, keep your peace, and God bless you. Bye-bye!